Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elijah Bull, and today we are going to be talking about using time curves in Linmot talk. Time curves are pretty useful. They allow us to use some complex movement without using another controller, and we'll see how we get that done here. Just to start off, you're going to head over to your project area over here. Today we're going to focus on just a linear servo drive and just focus on linear movement, but you can also do this with a rotary as well. But kind of go over here, you see I'm going to head down to where it says curves here, okay? Up here is where you start a new curve, position versus time. And the default parameter is using a sine calculation. But for me, I'm going to use the VA interpolator. I think it's a lot easier, and you can put in the actual speeds of your motors, okay? So we're going to give this one a name. Let's name it rise, okay? Because this is going to be the rising curve. And we're going to start at 0, obviously, because that's what our motor wizard setting is for the homing. And then we're going to end, let's say, around negative 70 millimeters. Okay. Then the speed, go around 3 meters per second, 3, 3 for the acceleration as well, because we don't want it to go too fast. Okay. All this looks good. You can leave the rest of that the same. Then we're going to create a fall as well. So fall. And remember, this can't have the same curve ID of the previous one, so I'm going to put this one as 2. I'm going to change this again from sine to VA interpolator. And now, because this is falling, I'm no longer starting at 0. I'm starting at the point, at the maximum point, at the end point of my previous rise curve, so which was negative 70. Okay, and then obviously you want to go back to 0. Okay. Now you could do this in different ways. You don't have to go back to 0, but to get the nice curve that I'm going to show you here in a second, this is how you want to set it up. And then I'm going to keep all the speeds the same as well. Here. Perfect. Okay. So now you can see the lengths are the exact same. But in order to get a curve that I'm going to show you here in a second, I have to join these curves together to make a third one. So I'm going to go here, join curve. Again, I have to give it another ID. And I'm going to keep this name the same. Actually, I'm going to keep it the name of join curve, boom, and we're good to go here. Okay, so just to kind of show you what these graphs look like, let's show the curve here, boom. This is what the rise one looks like. So you're starting at 0, it heading all the way to negative 70, and then obviously this is the time in milliseconds of how long it's going to take. And then here, same thing, it's just inverted almost. You're starting at negative 70, like I said before, and then you're going to 0 millimeters. So, and then to see how these come together, boom, get like a little inverse parabola look, starting at 0, going down, and ended up back at 0 for a full curve. So I'll show you what that looks like here in a second. But for now, you have to make sure to download this. So I'm going to highlight all 3 of these. Click this little down arrow to copy selected. Once it's down in this area, I can highlight them again and click download to drive. Okay. So this is going to download all this stuff into the servo drive, so it's ready to move. The motor doesn't take very long. Boom. So once you see the green checks, you know you're good to go and everything's saved and everything will work out perfectly fine. Okay. Now I'm going to go to my parameters. Okay. I'm going to go to motion control here. Drive configuration, IO definitions. Okay. So in order to make this move by trigger, I have to, one of these values has to be set to trigger as well. Okay, so the one I chose was the dig in x4.6 function. I'm going to set that to trigger. Okay, I'm going to go back out here. Now I'm going to go to run mode settings. Okay, click that. So right now the run mode setting is set to motion command interface. I'm going to change that to trigger time curves because that's what I'm using right now. Okay, go all the way down here. We're going to leave that for now. And then we are going to back out of here. Boom. Boom. There. There. So now I'm going to make sure that my rise is on 1 and the other one is on 2. So when it falls back down, okay? Right here. Here we go. So right now the rise curve ID is on 3, which I don't want. I want that to be 1. Okay? So when that's the initial rise I showed you when it's going from 0 to negative 70. I'm sorry. Then the fall curve, I want that to 2. And let's see what this looks like once I start the movement. I'm going to go ahead and go out of here. Let's head back to control panel. Let's start the firmware back up. And you'll be able to see how that looks right here in a second. While this loads up. Perfect. Trying to get some of this movement going here. So once your motor is switched on and everything and the motor is homed, you'll be able to do this movement here. So I'm going to switch it on, of course. You can see operation enabled. I'm going to home the motor to get it in that position that I put. Then I'm going to go down here to enable manual override, And once I click 4.6, you see it rise. Boom. See it rise here. Then you see it fall. When I go back down, okay? See it rise. Then you see it fall. I mean, you can keep doing this as long as you want. So whenever I click this input on, that's what gives me the rise. Obviously when I toggle it off, that's when it falls back down. You can also do it where it just does back and forth on one click. I'll show you how to do that there. So I'll go back down to trigger curve settings, and instead of 1 and 2, I'm going to set this to 3. Boom. And then I'm going to put this to 0 because there is no fall. Okay. So let's go back in. Let's do the same thing. So once I click it now, it goes back and forth. See? Click it again. Back and forth. Click it one more time. Back and forth. Okay. So this is pretty cool. But there's also one more thing you can do. You can make it go back and forth continuously after only clicking the button one time. So I'll show you that right here. So now I have to go back into run mode selection, and I'm going to go to continuous curve. So this means the curve is going to go continuously as long as I have it the time curve settings on. So first, let me change this to 0 before I start. Okay, I'm going to go back to where I was, trigger time curve. I'm sorry, I'm going to go to run mode selection. I'm going to go to continuous curve here. Perfect. Okay, so once you have that enabled, then you can go down to your time curve settings. And once I click this to 3, you're going to see it go back and forth over and over. Okay, so, and whenever you want to get this to stop, all you have to do is click the button off and you're good to go once you turn the switch off. So turn the switch off, there you go, now it's done. I get it to home again, turn the switch back on, it goes, turn the switch off. Thank you for watching this video on time curves. I will see you in the next video where we will go over command tables. Thank you.